Hey there, investors. This week we looked at 24 aerospace and defense companies. Only 3 made the list. Come on, let's go swimming with the sharks and find out who. Hey, a quick reminder, if you enjoy these discussions, please hit the like and subscribe to this channel. Hit that bell so you don't miss an episode. And please tell your friends so they can join in the conversation. It's been a little while, so a quick reminder. In order to make our list, a company has to meet at least one of these criteria. They either have to have 17 years of increasing cash flow per share, or will allow one flat or negative year. They have to have 17 years of increasing earnings per share, or will allow one flat or one negative year. Or they have to have 17 years of increasing dividends per share, with one flat year allowed, no negative years. Okay, come on, let's go dive in and see how these defense companies did. So we're starting out with General Dynamics, ticker GD. Their dividend yield is 2.5% on $163.66, and this data is valid as of the 7th of June. Now, a quick note here. You'll notice that we've got a little more than 20 years here. We have, as the data is clicking on, I was thinking, it might be interesting to let folks see how the data accumulates beyond the 17 years. So we're going to look at the 17-year performance for our criteria here, but we'll also look at how they've done as time moves on. In the case of General Dynamics, they are not qualified for cash flow per share or earnings per share, but they are a Div 0. And they've been a Div 0 for the length of this period. So 17 years in this case, 18 years of increasing dividends per share with no flat years. Here's what this looks like on the long-term trend. You can see that's a pretty nice upward slope on all of those curves. A little bouncing around here, but not too bad. And here's the year-to-year changes. Again, those dividends are always above, the gold bars are always above the zero line. They're a Div 0. Next up is Lockheed Martin, ticker LMT. Now their dividend yield 2.7% is filled with gold because that is greater than the 2.6% that I use for benchmark. And that's on $337.89. Now they are qualified as a cash flow 1. You can see they took a hit here in 09 to 10. And that's for the 17 and the 18-year period. And they are a Div 0. So 17 years, in this case 18 years of increasing dividends per share with no flat years. Here's their long-term trend. And you can see that's, again, pretty nice upward slope going on all 3 curves. And here's the year-to-year changes. Here's that little hit that they took for their cash flow, and they've had a couple of hits for earnings. All right, then we have Northrop Grumman. Their yield is 1.7% on $308.23 a share. They are not qualified for cash flow or earnings per share, but they are a Div 0 for the 17-year period and a Div 1 for the 18-year period. You can see they had a flat year in 02 to 03, but that would not affect them being in our category because for the last 17 years they have had a Div 0. Here's what that looks like on the long-term trend. It's interesting how this slope looks like it's pretty close to this slope. So they took a hit, they worked to get back in, and then they regained a previous slope performance that they were after. And here's what that looks like on the year-to-year changes. All right, let's see how they all stack up next to each other. So here you see their dividend yields, Lockheed Martin yielding the greatest of the 3. General Dynamics not too far behind them there. Here was what their cash flow per share stacks up to be. They're all kind of just mixing it up here, but it looks like Lockheed Martin has generally outperformed, though not by a whole lot, all the way until we get out here in the 2017 timeframe. Northrop Grumman gives them a run for their money, and then Lockheed Martin pulls out again. General Dynamics, slow and steady, just cooking along there. But right now, Lockheed Martin outperforming the group. Earnings per share, again, we see Lockheed Martin outperforming Northrop Grumman and General Dynamics, with General Dynamics again just being slow and steady, no major zigs and zags in there. And on the dividends per share, Lockheed Martin is the standout performer here, outperforming General Dynamics and Northrop Grumman, who are both kind of in the same ballpark for their dividends per share. So if you're looking for a good solid defense aerospace type company to have in your portfolio and you're an income oriented person, it looks like Lockheed Martin is going to be the answer for you. But that doesn't mean that Northrop or General Dynamics are not in the game. All three of them are pretty solid performers, and you may be looking for something other than just income on your investment portfolio. Now, I'd love to hear what you think about these defense companies. Tell me who else you think should have been on the list but didn't. Maybe we can figure out why they didn't get qualified. And I'd like to know if you've added any of these to your portfolio. Have a great week.